By not caring about where your money comes from, what you slave away for 5 days a week, you are pretty much saying, yeah, I want the shit of society. I want the leftover scraps.
$6. It's like $1 an hour.
There is a financial currency crisis coming to the world, if we are not already there. Okay, so 2020 has probably been the weirdest year on record for all of us. We have stayed home from our jobs. We've stayed home from our friends. We've stayed home from school. Businesses have been told to stop. Businesses have been told to shut down. During this time, governments around the world have printed money due to coronavirus as a national crisis fund. This is to stimulate the economy, give money to specific places we need it for this virus or any other thing that we would need money for. So the US printed about $2.4 trillion worth. Canada printed about $100 billion worth. If you were a citizen of the US, you could be eligible for $1,200. Same in Canada, you'd get about $8,000 over 3 months. So you're saying, yeah, it was fine. Like, everybody printed money and we got a share and we needed it for the crisis. What if I told you that only 15% were given to the people? That's right. In the US, 15% of that $2.4 trillion is divided into those $1,200 checks for the individual. The rest of the money was given to corporations, schools, military, governments, foundations. At the top, that's 85% was taken away from the American people and just printed. It's not the first time they've printed money. They print money during a financial crisis. These crises are obviously what we're in today. 9/11, 2008 crisis, if you have anything like ISIS, something that has merit in printing money from nothing. We'll get to that in a second. So billionaires, corporations, everybody are always pushing the government to print more because it's backed on nothing.
Fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
All they have to do is go to the Federal Reserve and pull more out. But if they did this in times that were not crisis, there would be uproars in the streets. But because it's a crisis, there's a good saying that says, do not let a financial crisis go to waste. And this is exactly what governments all over the world are doing. All those people at the top are taking their piece of the pie, getting 50% richer from this, while the bottom half is getting pennies that are taxed and their jobs taken away. If getting robbed of all that money they're printing didn't piss you off enough, maybe inflation will. So what's inflation? Pretty much picture a McDonald's hamburger in the 1950s versus the 2000s versus today. That 1950s hamburger was way less than today's hamburger. So that's how the dollar has inflated as well. It used to come in with dimes, nickels, etc., and you'd be able to get something back. In my day, we had pennies. Pennies don't even exist in Canada anymore. So that's how money has changed, and money is growing. It is headed in that direction as we continue to print more and more unlimited of it. So your dollar today is worth more than it will be in the future. If you have cash just sitting around in a savings account, lying down under your mattress, like we've all been told to save some cash here and there, you are actually losing money, anywhere from 0 to 2%, and probably even more when we keep printing money every year. This is why savings accounts exist, how they make money on that. Banks will, oh yeah, I'll have your money. So you take in the money, they go, okay, we'll give you 2%. In reality, they're playing inflations, loans, investments that are skyrocketing, and they take the top. And then you get the 2% and considered I'm in savings. But you go, okay, this is how kind of societies run all the time, and that's fine. But we've never printed money to this extent. Their gap has never been wider between the top 1% and the 99%. Countries around the world have seen inflation destroy their countries. Not just those African countries you hear about where the Zimbabwe dollar is now 1 billion and can buy you nothing. This has happened in Venezuela. This has happened in Argentina, where minimum wage can't even buy you a bottle of shampoo. So what is going to happen when your dollar bill is worth nothing? You cannot buy it unless you have 100,000 of those. What are you going to turn to? Well, for a long time there's been options, And this is the argument for precious metals. These are scarce resources that cannot be printed into oblivion. These resources actually have scarcity backed with them. There's only a finite amount of gold, there's only a finite amount of silver, so we put a value on that. And we've been trading them through time. So previously, about 50, 60 years ago, the US and lots of the world were on a gold standard, meaning every dollar was backed by a specific amount of gold. It used to be you take gold coins and you would trade them. This became heavy. This was hard to obviously do over the internet. If you have gold, how are you going to pay your Amazon bills? If you have gold, how are you going to pay your credit card bills? You can't go into a car dealership and say, here's 50,000 gold pieces and throw it on the table. One, it's too heavy. Two, like, where have you stored that all this time? Why hasn't somebody broken in? So we decided to go on a digital system where money is backed by nothing, and this is fiat money. It hasn't inflated to oblivion here in the Western world yet. Things have slowly trickled over time, and that 1% has gained slowly. But it's increasingly fast now that the lower class is losing all their jobs, is losing dollars to inflation every day because of the printing that's backed by one government, one organization in their region. So what if there was a solution that you could have the precious metals that had the scarcity, but also had the ability to purchase things online, transfer peer-to-peer, all digitally, and just like we've been used to for the last, say, 10 years or 20 years, however long you've been purchasing online, or e-transferring or Venmo to your friend. Well, there is a way to hedge your bet against the current system, and that is cryptocurrency. It is a way of peacefully protesting the system that you do not want to be involved in, where your dollar is going to be lower and lower. So cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are scarce. There's only 21 million Bitcoin in the world. It is peer-to-peer transactions, decentralized, so not one government or one person controls it. It is a unified, decentralized, peer-to-peer currency, and may be the best currency humanity has ever created. Now, there may be another currency that comes out in the future. There has been currencies before Bitcoin which were illegal to buy, which were illegal to transact, but now it's completely transparent, and we've already seen a winner in Bitcoin. So I have a couple videos about Bitcoin basics, how to buy it, how to invest it, and what it is. You can check out those videos. But if you want to hedge against the current system that we're in, the current crisis that's going to come, if not already here, this is a good way to protest, or at least just have as insurance in case something does hit the fan and all your savings are worth nothing.